Welcome to Frank Bruno Law. I am Frank Bruno. I'm an elder law and estate planning attorney in New York. Today, I am going to speak with you about it was a question that I received from a brother. He and his sister inherited a property, and now there is a small issue as to what to do with the property. Before I answer that question, if you have a similar question, if you have any question about elder law, please give me a call, reach out to me through my website, callfrankbruno.com or frankbrunolaw.com, frankbrunolaw.com, right? Thank you very much. Now, just to give a little of the scenario, I was contacted by a person that inherited mother passed away, father had been predeceased. He and his sister jointly inherited the house. So for even numbers, I'm going to say that the house is $600,000, right? To protect the confidentiality, that is not the right number. So $600,000, no mortgage. He and his sister inherited the property. His sister would like to remain living in the home, and she doesn't have the money to pay him his share, right? So in my example, he is entitled to the home. He can reside in it, he can sell it, he can live in it, but only with the consent and agreement of his sister. And the sister has the same ability to live in it, rent it, sell it, but they're each entitled to their equitable share of the home, right? Their percentage ownership. So 50%, again, in this example, he's entitled to $300,000, she's entitled to $300,000. She would like to buy him out. She would like to live in the home. She's asking her brother if she could remain living in the home. The brother reached out to me and asked me what his options are. So, and I had a full-length discussion with him, and I'm giving you the short version here. He can let his sister live in the home, but his equity is trapped in the house until some future date, right? When she chooses to sell it or agrees to sell it. She could go to a bank and get a mortgage based on the fact that she's entitled to 50% of the equity. The bank could potentially lend her $300,000 to pay off her brother. He may choose or consent to accept a little bit less than $300,000, and the reason why he might do that is because if you sell it to a third party, there's going to be state and city tax, perhaps a realtor fee, right? So he could give his sister a little bit of a break, but he is entitled to half of the value of the home, and he could make some accommodations to accept a little bit less. There is something else that she could live in the home by agreement, and be responsible for payment of taxes, utilities, insurance, water, right? And they could come to some type of agreement where she can pay her brother some sum of money for rent, right? S-U-M, some sum of money for the rent. So if the rent, and it will only work out if it makes sense economically. But say this was a place where the rental of the house was $2,000 a month, $24,000 less the sister paying for the taxes, the insurance, right? Those are the fees that the brother would also be responsible for, right? Those are the ownership costs. And then she, as an occupant, as a renter, would pay for her own water, her own heat. But $24,000 in my example, and if the taxes were, I'm going to make up an even number, $10,000, then they less taxes, I guess. So $14,000, she'd have to pay him $14,000, and she'd also have to be responsible for maybe any maintenance issues, mowing the lawn, painting, and then they would both be equally responsible for capital improvements, such as fixing the roof or a boiler, right? Again, because that's an ownership cost. So with agreement, with consent, any of the aforementioned scenarios can take place. If you have a similar instance, if you would like to ask a specific question about your situation, please give me a call. Reach out to callfrankbruno.com. Thank you very much. Shut off. Close. No? Okay. Bye-bye.